Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day, night, evening, midday, whatever you are, wherever you are. Hope it's awesome. So, welcome back to Season 2 versus Streams. We are on Episode 12, The Trandoshan Army versus the Klingon Army. Star Wars versus Star Trek. And with me is Darth Annihilus, Price is Right Review, and Ambassador. Folks, how are you doing?
I'm alright. How are you?
I am spectacular.
Today is indeed a good day to die. Particularly if you're a Trandoshan. I hear Trandoshans make good soup.
You know, Sid actually does from the Bad Batch. She's a Trandoshan. I hear she does make a good soup.
No, I mean they taste good in soup, or perhaps roasted over an open flame,
Yeah, I hear
or
you.
perhaps raw, because we do know Klingons sometimes eat their food,
Yeah.
live.
Mm-hmm. When Worf was going through puberty, like as an adult, that was weird. But yeah. Anyway, so yes, it is Trandoshans versus Klingons, just because they're weird species of both franchises. And so we decided to give them a go in a versus stream. So I'm going to do this up a little differently. I'm going to give the background on just the Trandoshans. Then Price and Ambassador will be doing the Klingons. So beginning with the Trandoshans, everybody was introduced to the Trandoshans during 1980 when Empire Strikes Back hit theaters. And it was the character of Bosk when Piet, I believe he was an admiral at the very moment, he's like, bounty hunters, we don't need that scum. Those rebels won't escape us. And then Bosk basically chimes in his own language, like, shut the fuck up, basically. He's basically saying, yeah, without us, how the hell would you find these rebels? You sucked so far. But yeah. But then we got introduced to them more in different games, like what was it? Omega Squad, Republic Commando. You saw they actually had some rad weapons on Kashyyyk with the Trandoshans killing them. Then you also got more introductions in the Clone Wars with more. Oh, we lost Ben. Or we lost Price. But yeah, then we got more cooler looking Trandoshans. We also have Bosk was also in Clone Wars. You mess with Boba, you mess with me. That guy. You also had Trandoshans in the Bad Batch with the character of Sid. And these characters hunt Wookiees for sport. And they actually do a pretty good job hunting Wookiees for sport. I mean, Bosk never did get Chewbacca's pelt for himself, but you know what? He's got a few other ones. There's no denying that. So the Trandoshans are also semi-honor bound as well. If they lose an honor duel, they will freaking begrudgingly accept defeat. Also, we were also introduced to the first ever rebel Trandoshan, which was a fucking weird thing in that Star Wars Starfighters new game, and it's like, do these idiots not understand lore? I mean, it is Disney. What do you expect, folks? But yeah, it's like, we got a rebel Trandoshan. I'm like, you don't have a rebel Trandoshan. This isn't Star Wars. But anyway, that's just the way it is, folks. They don't know what they're doing half the time anyway. Dave Furloney just fucking puts in whatever he wants for nostalgia, gets his dick wet with his own characters, and that's about it. I mean, I seriously do question whether or not the man needs to be investigated for other things, but I digress. Trandoshans. They're slavers, they're hunters, they're lethal, they're strong, and they will kick your ass. And Yeah, I mean, that one that was basically hunting down Padawans, some of them could actually put up a decent fight against the Jedi, but for the most part, going up against the Wookiee is their top game. They fought, or they have also fought other things too, like Rancors. They have also fought freaking Wampas, and they have brought them down. This is no joke. They have done it. So yeah, these things are known for taking down bigger species. These things are known for taking down more dangerous species than them. And they're not afraid to get their hands dirty if they need to. So yeah. So with that out of the way, let's go to Price is Right and Ambassador for handling the Klingons. What do you guys got to say about Klingons?
All right, this is going to be fun. Well, the best way I can describe the Klingons for those who are not really good Trekkers or not really watching Star Trek like I do, think of them as space Vikings, because they're a warrior race. They come from an empire that's spread throughout star systems, throughout the galaxy, or their Alpha Quadrant in Star Trek, and they're a formidable superpower in the Alpha Quadrant, able to challenge the Federation, which is us, and they also have a rivalry between them and the Romulans. And because of the alliance between Federation and Klingons is what maintain peace throughout the galaxy. The Klingons have a similar honor code, similar to the Predators. They will kill you. They will not take hostages. They're very honor driven. Then let's see, they're very lethal. They're very informative. Let's see. I would say the biggest foe they've ever fought as far as this kind of competition is going to be the Gorn. The Gorn is basically Killer Croc wearing space armor. So they're very skilled in taking on enemies that are twice their size and strength. And of course, the most famous version of Klingon is Worf, and how he's able to take down many different species by himself in a one-to-one combat. So they're very skilled in blade-to-blade combat, hand-to-hand combat, and they have their own personalized weapons. And it got noted that Worf became the spokesperson between both the Federation and the Klingon Empire by becoming the ambassador on DS9. So the Klingons are people you do not want to mess with either. Anything you want to add to?
Well, go ahead, Nihilus.
I agree about the Klingons, and they have even more. They also have some pretty awesome tactics in space combat. Although I don't know if we're gonna cover fleets.
Is this more soldiers or fleet?
This will be on the ground.
Okay. Yeah. Then, like I said, the biggest thing about the Klingons, they also have a hierarchy of command too.
Yeah. Can I give a brief mention to one space tactic that the Klingons use that I really like, and it leads to them fighting in melee?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
In the Star Trek Armada games, there's a ship called the Sujok class, and it is basically a boarding attack vessel. The Klingons board into boarding pods. Those pods are fired at ships, and they attach themselves to the hull, open up. The Klingons spill out with batleths. Cue an army of Klingons storming a Borg cube with batleths.
Nice.
Yep, and not to mention disruptor blasters too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the Borg can adapt.
So,
to
like
those,
I said, they're very
neither here nor there. And also, I will give the Trandoshans this: they're no slouch when it comes to their own weapons. Aside from the ACP ray gun, they also have the LJ-50 concussion rifle. And that thing is a powerhouse of death.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyone who's played Republic Commando will know the weapon I speak of.
I do. Mm-hmm. Of course, speaking in terms of Klingons in a combat situation, they were bred for it. They were born and bred as natural combatants. I mean, you put a batleth and a disruptor in the hand of a fully trained and mature Klingon warrior, he's going to tear ass. Not to mention,
they will slaughter you. They will slaughter you.
Not to mention, let's be honest here. They are essentially like Spartans. The women know how to fight as well as the men do. Let's be honest here.
That's what I mean.
You put together a battalion of Klingon male and female warriors. Oh, you are so screwed.
I also think what would another possibility that would give the Trandoshans an edge in this? They're hunters.
Oh yeah.
So are the Klingons.
Think
about
it. Right, but the Trandoshans are more. I mean, they have their own sense of honor, but they're not above being underhanded when the situation calls for it, sneaking around in the shadows and the like.
Yeah.
Neither will a Klingon.
Same with the Klingons. The Klingons can do the same thing too.
Let's be honest here. The Klingons can be extremely ruthless and bloodthirsty, but they can be very tactical as well.
Yeah, this almost makes me wish instead of the Klingons, the Trandoshans were going up against the Hirogen. That would be more interesting. That would be very interesting.
But I'm just saying, as far as the Klingons, like I said, the Klingons have their share of just defeating enemies twice their size and strength. Like I said, the Gorn. The Gorn is basically a croc wearing body armor, pretty much. So
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, one thing I will say about female Klingons, I do actually remember this episode in Next Generation. There were these sister Klingons that were
the Duras sisters.
Luthor and B'Etor.
I think they took over
B'Etor,
Data.
yeah, Luthor and B'Etor, yeah.
Yeah, I think they took over Data, and they actually, while watching or his POV.
No, that's Geordi.
No, it was actually Geordi.
No,
yeah, Geordi. Yeah, it was Geordi. I knew it was somebody with something, but they actually caught his. They actually caught him looking at the shield frequency for the Enterprise, and they just launched her, and then they started just.
Actually, that was in Star Trek Generations.
Generations is pretty much a 2-hour-long episode of the show.
It was in Generations.
Oh, it's pretty much a 2-hour episode of the show anyway, so...
I mean, I remember most of the stuff coming from the Next Generation anyway, but I mean, it all just blended in over the years. But
it's okay, dude.
It's like,
no worries.
holy crap, man.
How dare you?
I would say the biggest
into the Enterprise.
But I was gonna mention I would say the biggest victory or biggest feat the Klingons ever done as far as the Star Trek universe is the Dominion War. When there was a Dominion War, they're just as real as the Klingons, but the Klingons, like I said, they had a hierarchy of command where they were able to strategize and able to take down. But the Dominion versus the Klingons, that was a heavy bloodthirst battle. They were just destroying each other. But the Klingons did win, but at a heavy cost. So, like I said, that's probably the biggest triumph of the Klingon Empire was the Dominion War.
Yeah, let's be candid here.
Now it's DS9.
Klingons breed like rabbits, particularly after war.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They go back home.
Oh yeah, they breed like no.
Klingon males
remember,
are like, hey,
the men don't war, the women roar, and they hurl the objects. They claw at you.
So
Star Trek Next Generation Season 1, Warp to West.
I had to. I'm sorry.
Like season. No, it's okay, Annihilus.
What is the strength comparison to of a Klingon to a human?
Pure-blooded, like a pure-blooded Klingon.
Pretty sure Klingons can throw your average human around like a rag doll.
I would say.
I would say like 2 to 1 or 2.5 to 1.
I would say, hey, orange. I would say put him between Captain America and a Predator strength, between those two. Not exactly the same, but like I said, they have a really enhanced strength, enhanced smelling and hearing, but they're not exactly the same caliber, but they're very strong, almost as strong as a Predator.
Let's put it in this context. A Klingon could pick up Commander Riker and hurl him across the bridge easily.
Like a rag doll, yeah.
And Riker ain't no small fella.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a 6 foot, 6'8" or something. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, he towers over everybody else.
So basically,
particularly Counselor Troy, and she enjoys it.
They're around 2.3 to 2.5 times stronger than a human.
Yep.
About that,
I think the Trandoshans when last I checked, they are roughly around the same strength caliber. 2.3
Yeah.
and 2.5.
Yeah.
I mean, because you saw freaking Bosk just pick up Obi-Wan like he was nothing and just throw him across a freaking table. Like, it's like, screw off, dude. You pick up, or you mess with Boba, you mess with me. And he just
Yeah,
picks him
okay.
up
He was
like
a
he's
small
nothing
guy.
and just throws him.
I will say this though. Between the Klingons and the Trandoshans, Klingons are more intellectually driven, but as far as the Trandoshans, the way their intellect, they're basically more animalistic intellect rather
I
than
will say that, yes.
strategic. Like I would say the Klingons are more advantage on that when it comes to intellect. So I think animalistic kind of is a little bit, the strategic mind of Klingon.
Well, they also both, or Klingons and Trandoshans, both do also have a bloodlust.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
If I remember correctly.
True, but I'm just
You do.
But I'm
Yes.
just saying their way of thinking. But I'm talking about the difference between them and thinking. The Klingons are more strategic driven, but bloodthirsty at the same time. But the Trandoshans are more animalistic in their approach. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I will get, or they will, or Klingons do have an edge over the Trandoshans when it comes to tactical or tactician
awareness
and whatnot.
Technical awareness, yeah.
Now,
well, here's the other thing too. To the best of my knowledge, at least, and if I'm correct here, please correct me.
Will do.
Klingons work well in groups or in military units. Trandoshans,
they're lone hunters.
They usually work alone, and I would imagine you get enough Trandoshans pissed off at one another, it's not going to end well.
That depends on the Trandoshans.
And the
see, there is you got Bosk, who does work well solitary and only works with other bounty hunters if it works for him. Then you have Trandoshan packs, like the ones that hunted down Ahsoka and the Padawans and Chewbacca. Those are they have, or you see them calling for help, and you see them screeching out for help and whatnot when need be. Yeah. So they do have a way of working together. They have a way, or they are animalistic. Yep. So yes, they can work together, and they do, and they are effective. If they are in a conflict, they will not succumb to petty idiocies. Like if somebody accidentally hits them, they're like, "You fucking idiot," and start hitting each other back. No, they'll like save this for another time, kill the enemies right now. That is one thing about Trandoshans do have with them. They can maintain their focus.
I was going to say this about the Klingons as well, because Klingons do the same thing. They do tend to beat each other up, but not for that petty reasons, but more they enjoy the fight. Because like I said, you see competitions between Worf and other Klingons all the time in the Star Trek universe. Yeah, like I said, Klingons are bred for war, bred for fighting, and so you'll see them do the same thing. But what does Star Trek? What really?
Kick him out!
Boo!
Kick out the idiot that's got the.
He's one of my. He's freaking one. No,
I know.
He's one of my mods.
Soul good Z. I know. Soul good Z, man.
Are you challenging me for my right to be the baddest punner of all? You have no idea who you're fucking with, sir.
But going back to my point, like I said, Klingons are used to fighting each other as well, but for training and for fun. So, like I said, they have no problem working together at all in this case.
Yeah, they'll fight now let's get down. So let's now get down to the nitty gritty. We basically have who are we rooting for? Starting with Annihilus.
Shit, this is a tough one. There are points to be had on both sides. Although, ultimately, I'd say the Klingons, unless the Trandoshans can, if the Klingons work best as an army in a military structure and in numbers, unless the Trandoshans can either individually or as an army overcome that, then the Klingons will win due to their military precision.
Okay.
All right.
Basher?
Honestly, Klingons. I'll get into why later.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing, Klingons, because of how much I know about them compared to the Trandoshans. Yeah, Klingons do not want to mess with.
I'm going with Trandoshans because I like Star Wars more than Star Trek, but also I will give my reasons after. So I am kind of outvoted here, but good thing is that this is not a democracy. So now let's give reasoning because I know our Annihilus doesn't have a lot of time. So what's your reasoning behind your choice, Annihilus?
So, like I said, if the Klingons have more military discipline and precision than what I've seen of the Trandoshans, and I will admit my experience of the Trandoshans is limited to Bosk, Republic Commando, and some other instances where I've seen Trandoshans, Galactic Battlegrounds, KOTOR. They're mercenaries. They don't have a command. They don't have a rigid command structure. Yes, that. And the Klingons can do more often than not use that hierarchy to their advantage. Petty political bullshit on Kronos aside, of course.
All right.
So, Master, your reasonings.
Well, my reasoning kind of goes in line with what Annihilus had to say. The Klingons have the capacity, I think a deeper capacity for military strategy and tactical reasoning on a battlefield than the Trandoshans do. Not to mention, just looking at the standard loadout weapons-wise, it's built for both long range and close range, particularly with Klingon blaster rifles or even just disruptors, disruptor pistols or disruptor rifles. A Klingon disruptor, it's going to kill you. It's going to pretty much vaporize you if I understand the principle of what a disruptor does. It essentially vaporizes you. With a bat'leth or any other type of Klingon melee weapon, because they do have swords, they other have bladed weapons, although they're best known for the bat'leth. The bat'leth has been shown to be an exceedingly deadly weapon in the hands of not only just a Klingon, but a human, a regular human, because we have seen on rare occasion a human use a Klingon bat'leth and use it effectively. Put that in the hands of a few dozen or more. Okay, say it potentially, if this is a battle between 200 Klingons and 200 Trandoshans, they're going to winning them out with their disruptors, and then they're going to move in and take out the rest of them with their bat'leths or whatever bladed or melee weapons that they've got at their disposal. To the best of my knowledge, the Trandoshan weapon loadout, while impressive, doesn't have that diversity.
I'll say allow me to say one thing in the Trandoshan's weapons favor. LJ-50 concussion rifle.
Yes, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I agree with you. But put Klingons and Trandoshans in a particular environment, while those particular weapons are exceedingly lethal, they can be worked around.
True.
So
here's another thing that you guys aren't paying attention to with the Trandoshans. They're incredible snipers.
True.
Damn, I forgot about that.
They have some of the best snipers in the galaxy when it comes to Star Wars.
That's
why they're very effective hunters. Their marksmanship is pretty damn good, and that is why the Emperor or the Empire actually didn't go wholesale slaughter on them. It's because they realized if they had to go into a forest to get them out, they'd lose. They would lose so many people because the Trandoshans are hunters, first off. And secondly, They have a very good sniper. You put some of the best sniper rifles in their hands, they're going to be picking off freaking Klingons from hundreds of yards away.
You make a good point there, Orange, and you actually triggered my memory of Darth Bane, Path of Destruction. I don't know if you've read that one.
Oh, yeah. Darth Bane's one of my favorites.
Yeah, before he becomes Darth Bane, I forgot his non-Bane name.
Dissel.
Dessel,
Yep,
yeah.
Dessel.
He was leading his unit
Thank you.
on, I think it was not Honegger, but not Kashyyyk. Yeah, Kashyyyk. I'm pretty sure it was Kashyyyk. Fuck. Anyway, the plan's not important. The point is, he was leading his unit through the forest after the Trandoshans, and they didn't count on the Trandoshans being as lethal as they were. They wiped out, if I remember correctly, about half of the Gloomwalkers that day.
Yep. Soul Assassin, to address your question in the chat, I got nuked. My new Twitter is at OHR2185 because Twitter, well, they honestly couldn't take a fucking joke. Not to mention Twitter is S-ho, so yeah. I had to resort to my backup in order to stay on. So yeah, it's OHR, or just look up at OHR2185. And Vin Diesel as Darth Bane, that would be a good casting choice, but I would also go with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I already made my choice. I already got something a lot better than that for Darth Bane, in my opinion.
Who?
Henry Cavill.
No.
He'd have to wear a bald cap. No.
No. When I saw him play The Witcher, I'm sorry, no. I believe Henry Cavill can't pull off the role if they shave his head, give him the right kind of makeup. I think he can't pull it off. I got to disagree on that one.
Darth Bane is dark skinned because of working in the mines of Apatros.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
and like I said,
also his body is a freaking Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's Henry Cavill.
He is a fucking twig compared to somebody like Darth Bane.
And I got respect for disagreeing on that one. I'll just agree with that.
I'll agree to disagree.
No offense to Henry Cavill.
Cavill for XR Kun. That would be a good casting choice, actually. That would be.
I'd agree with that one. I would definitely agree with, but no, Vin Diesel or The Rock as Darth Bane, 100%.
Definitely, it's Tim Possible. Good to see you. Thank you.
Tim's following me today.
Okay, Tim, hear me out. Who would be a good Jolie Bindo?
I know who that is.
I know who that is. It had to be someone old. I would say like Morgan Freeman.
That was my first thought.
Morgan Freeman, you'd have to cut his hair off.
That wouldn't be hard.
How about the guy that freaking voiced him? I don't know. Back to the first stream. We're getting off topic.
Yeah. Sorry.
And you're going to be having to dip out soon. So, Annihilus, before we do go, give your out of 10s. Who would win out of 10 fights?
Out of 10 fights? It depends on the environment. If they're in an environment that allows for copious amounts of high ground, cover, trees, Trandoshans would win 8 out of those 10 fights. Otherwise, Klingons would win 8 out of the 10 fights.
Okay, thank you.
I still haven't given my points yet, as far as the.
Well, I wanted Annihilus to get in his points before he goes because dip out.
Yeah, I'm about to dip out. Yeah,
okay.
But thank you for having me, and I hope to be on another one of these very soon.
All right,
yeah, thank you. Nice seeing you. Nice seeing you, Price, Ambassador, and Orange. It's been a while. I hope the gap between us streaming or even just communicating with each other is significantly less next time.
Indeed, dude.
Absolutely, yeah.
Take it easy.
Have a good one.
Live long and prosper, everyone, and may the force be with you. Ha! Got them both in.
There you go.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
You too, everyone.
It's impossible in the chat. Obi-Wan would win on the high ground. True, he would.
Well, I was gonna give my background and points for the Klingons as far as that. as far as the whole hunting and going to forest like that, well, the Klingons are bored not just for war, but they're natural born hunters themselves. Because there's several episodes of DS9 where Worf and several other Klingons go on hunting expeditions and through several different planets with different types of fugitives and fugitives of war and stuff like that. So the Klingons are natural born hunters as well. So they're no stranger to people trying to hide from them. So I don't think they're going to be dumb enough just to go chasing Trandoshans in mountains or trees. They're going to be more smarter about it. They're not just going to bulldoze through them.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so I think the Klingons would be more tactful as far as trying to find the Trandoshans in a dense forest or a dense rocky area.
Yeah.
So.
Alrighty. So now, or did we go? Or Ambassador, you gave your reasoning, right?
Yeah, I did. Essentially, I said, yeah, I did. Yeah.
So now should have had Klingons versus Mandalorians and Trandoshans versus Predators. Never say never. That's all I will say.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun too, yeah.
Yes, it would.
Alrighty, so my reasoning besides Trandoshans, well, I basically did say it. Great snipers. If they do get, or say this was taking place on a planet with plains and then a forest, I would say that it would be a pitched battle on the plains, but if they get into the forest, the Klingons are in trouble. Yes, they're tactical. Yes, they can handle it. Also, if they had to go to mano a mano, Trandoshans have a longer reach. They have greater distance. They have longer limbs. So
True.
if you're trying to get in, or if you're trying to get up close and personal with Trandoshan, they can literally do the hold your head or hold your forehead while you're trying to swing at them like a midget.
Well, true. They have more bigger reach, but the problem is, like I said, Klingons have their blades out there too. The disruptor fires and their blades, yeah.
The claws of a Trandoshan literally can peel into a freaking Klingon skull.
True, but like I said, if they get close enough, the blades will just chop their arms right off. Just saying.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, if they can get in close enough, or if they can slice and get in close enough to them. I mean, Trandoshans are also very.
And like I said, the battle guys is not the only blades they have. They also have their switchblades as well. Their famous switchblades. They're really, ready to take on and use anything. So.
Well, but also Trandoshans are very limber as well.
Well, and like I mentioned before, don't forget there is the Klingon Disruptor. It is it has the ability to one-shot just about anybody out of existence.
And that's not to mention the plasma rifle too. The plasma rifle is sniper too.
Mm-hmm. So don't the disruptors that the Trandoshans use. Disruptors basically destroy organic matter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and here's another thing.
Like I said, the other plasma rifles too.
Well, here's the other thing. You bring up them being chased into a forest. The Klingons are eventually going to get wise and go, like, you know what? Instead of chasing those suckers into the forest, let's have us a nice little Trandoshan barbecue and just burn the forest down.
You think what? Or you think that?
Yeah, they would.
While they're starting to get the fire going, you think those Trandoshans won't whip out rifles to start picking them off?
Well, you don't need that many to just start a fire. I mean, you said enough fires. Even if they take out half of the Klingons, they're eventually going to get that fire kid's going. Unless the Trandoshans have a means of putting out a fire, that forest is going to burn, and we're going to burn with it.
They'll come out of the forest, guns blazing.
Yeah, and the Klingons will be right there waiting for them with their own disruptors waiting, just going... John Rambo, those suckers.
Like I said, man, Klingons are not stupid. So.
Yeah, well, this isn't. We aren't allowed heavy weaponry like that.
Yes, I know, and I get that.
But yeah, we didn't start the. Jesus Christ!
Tell you brave.
But since we're talking about this fight, this has to be on neutral grounds, though. It has to be an actual neutral ground. So how are we gonna do it?
Basically, like I said, it could be plains and forest and different, or it would be on a planet.
How about I got a perfect idea. I got a perfect idea for you. Do you remember the Predators planet, that forest planet? That should be a neutral ground.
What's the master for the blaster noises?
Yeah, that's one way of doing it.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, the one Predators.
Yeah, that should be the hunting ground or the battleground for these 200 Klingons versus 200 Trandoshans.
Yeah.
Of course, if you want to get into real tactics, have the Klingons start the fire, Trandoshans start running out, but the Klingons have made a shield trim. You made a bunch of pole arms out of the trees, and you just got some scared Trandoshan for the Barbie.
Thing is, if they're on that forest planet, they light the forest on fire. They're burning in there with them.
No,
That
what I'm saying is wait for the Trandoshans to come charging out, and then have a bunch of the Klingons have like long wooden spikes just waiting for them to run into it. Have them like lined up. Have blasters behind, Klingons with pole arms and spears in front, and tonight we died on Trandoshan soup. No. Well, yeah, that's one way of fixing Trandoshan, but another way of fixing Trandoshan, just roast it over an open flame, and you've already got the Trandoshan on a skewer. That's what that big wooden spear is, essentially. I'm just saying. And any ones that try to fight back... You're just totally
morbid today, aren't you? You're just totally morbid
today. Try to fight back, you just, you just chop off their arms, and you have appetizers. Hell, to a Klingon,
you're killing me, man.
Trandoshan genitals might be an aphrodisiac for all we know.
No.
Ground it up into powder, take it home to their wives, and say, "Here, honey, I got you some powdered Trandoshan dick. Let's get it on."
Hey, Ambassador, and then they'll make some fresh blood. They'll make some fresh bloodline from the Trandoshan blood.
Oh yes. Actually, sounds pretty good.
I think we just freaked out. Poor Orange over here.
And I thought I had a dirty mind.
What? What did I say?
I love Ambassador's mind. Ambassador's mind.
An aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure most of those Trandoshans would be stealing the freaking Klingon wives after they got a taste of it. They'd be like, "Screw my husband. I'm taking you with me."
They'll make.
Well, like I said, Klingon women are rough in bed, so be careful, man.
I'm pretty sure that Trandoshan women are probably the same.
I don't even want to think about that.
Hey, Ambassador, real quick. Do you remember the episode of DS9 where Quark and that one Klingon woman were getting it on? They had to go to Dr. Bashir's office. He has to try to explain what happened to them. Remember that?
Vaguely, I didn't get a chance to watch a whole lot of DS9.
Oh, okay. There's an episode of DS9 where the Ferengi, known as Quark, he decides to get.
Yeah, I know who Quark is.
Yeah, he decided to get busy with a female Klingon. He ends up getting his neck almost broken, and his broken wrist and broken arm. Yeah.
Dude, you grossed out Soul Assassin. That's not easy.
What? Because I was talking about the Klingons taking the Trandoshan's genitals, grinding them up into powder, and taking them home to their wives and using it as an aphrodisiac? What's weird about that? Or Price talking about making Klingon blood wine out of Trandoshan blood?
That makes more sense for a Klingon.
Well, hell, Studying Brave, the Klingons could essentially skin Trandoshans. They would use it as a trophy. Klingons do take trophies.
So do Trandoshans.
That's true. Yeah,
Trandoshans take. Yeah, but the Klingons would enjoy it more.
Trandoshans, they also incorporate some of the stuff that they take from others into their hunting. They kill a Klingon, they'll take their damn weapons and incorporate it into their own hunting skills.
That's true.
If they can kill them all first.
No, they'll take it off the battlefield too.
Well, I know. I'm just saying if they're actually able to defeat all 200 Klingons, because, like I said, in an army setting, yeah, Klingons would outright destroy a lot of them, or most of them, if not all of them. Depending on, like I said, it all depends on the circumstance of this whole thing. But like I said, I gotta go with the Klingons on this one.
Yeah, same here. Klingons win this thing, hands down.
Alrighty, so Jesus, we got 20 more minutes to go with this thing, or we could just wrap it up quicker. I mean, this could be a shorter one.
That's what she said, and she was very disappointed.
Wow, dude, you're gonna have to go to confessions later.
I'm not Catholic.
Well, still, they should have a confession booth for freaking Christians.
This is why I love Ambassador. His humor is actually hilarious. Just keep it up, my man. Keep it up.
You know, Stunning and Brave, take out Bosk and I'll turn that into a freaking versus stream.
Ooh, Killer Croc versus the Lizard. Just off the hip, I'd have to say the Lizard.
That's true, yeah.
Just because he can regenerate, Killer Croc can't.
Klingon women or Klingon women are rough in bed. Well, nobody likes an easy lay. Nice one, Saul.
Oh,
scaly titties. Wow, dude.
Like I said, man,
this quickly devolved into a porn.
Hey, man, people got their weird stuff. Man. People got their weird stuff.
Ambassador, you need Jesus, and I'm saying that. Oh my God.
Soul Assassin, you do realize I am a Christian. Not all Christians are stiffs. We actually do laugh. Too. We do actually sometimes do tell off-color jokes, believe it or not. I have Jesus in my life.
Do you?
Likewise.
He's probably saying, you need confessions or you need the Bible, boy.
I'm not a Catholic.
Hey, dude. I'm a pastor's son, so.
I know where the heck. Or Happy Dino, did you accidentally tag my other non-existent account? Because I think you did. See you sharing it, buddy.
Stunning and Brave, yes.
Dr. Octopus versus Mr. Freeze.
Yes. Yes.
Dude, that sounds pretty one-sided, if you ask me.
Why?
All he needs to do is just shoot his freaking freeze ray at Octopus, and then if he hits one of those damn tentacles, he's won.
As much as I love Mr. Freeze, and I love Mr. Freeze, he's like one of my all-time favorite DC villains. That might not be as one-sided as you think.
Yeah, like I said, those arms, those robotic arms, they can rip the whole car. They can easily break all the ice if he tries to freeze him with it. You know,
depending on the temperature of the freeze gun. But anyway, that's a different topic.
Yes, this is true. Okay, let's come up with some recipes for Dead Trandoshan.
Let's come up with some
Let's see. So far, we've got roasted Trandoshan on the Barbie. We've got Trandoshan soup. We've got Trandoshan tartare, which I think most Klingons would enjoy. We've got Trandoshan Klingon blood wine. Let's see. Blood wine made from Trandoshan blood. We got all sorts of Trandoshan aphrodisiacs for Klingons. Are you having trouble at home, brave Klingon warrior? Well, we have just what you need here at.
See, I can't wait.
Here at Galron's
fried Klingon ribs, barbecue Klingon ribs. Yeah, sounds good.
That'd be tough meat though. That'd be very tough meat.
Trandoshan a la mode.
You think that a Trandoshan wouldn't be able to rip through that? They are reptilian.
Okay, and
a lot of people, I'm also pretty sure that their claws could tear through the Klingon armor.
Debatable. It depends on what kind of armor they're wearing, because there are different variants of armor that Klingon wear. But the strongest armor is about as strong as Captain America's shield in a lot of cases. So it all depends on what armor they're wearing. Because like the strongest armor that Klingon has is basically just as strong as Captain America's shield. No joke.
Hand to hand, who would win?
Klingons.
Hands down. Hands freaking down.
Why?
Because
Hand right back.
well, for one thing, they spend many years developing their melee combat skills. I mean, it's a test of their manhood, for crying out loud. Not to mention, you look at the broad array of melee weapons.
Weapons. I'm talking about hand to hand.
Oh, okay. Strictly hand to hand. Still Klingons.
Hand.
Klingons.
Why?
Sorry, man. Klingons on this one, though. Because, like I said, Trandoshan has reach, but like I said, like if Klingons can ragdoll a 6'8" Commander Riker, I'm pretty sure they can easily pick up a Trandoshan and toss him a couple sides too. So,
well, Trandoshans don't just got reach; they also have claws.
Okay.
Yeah, but how many?
But
here's the thing: how many Klingons can one Trandoshan take down? Particularly if you get a pack of Klingons going after 2 or 3 Trandoshans, I'm sorry, those Klingons are going to eventually overwhelm them. Just if you send them into a blood rage, the Klingons are going to overwhelm them.
I'm pretty sure it is the same with Trandoshan. I mean,
like I said, for me, what breaks this competition is their mindset. Like I said, Trandoshans are more animalistic in thinking. Like I said, Klingons are more, like I said, hierarchy, military structure, but they're also strategic. They think strategically, and they try to hunt. Think like
they're going to assess their prey. Now, I'm not saying a Trandoshan can't assess their prey, but a Klingon's going to be able to figure out how to figure out the weaknesses of a Trandoshan a lot quicker than a Trandoshan can figure out the weaknesses of a Klingon.
Exactly, that's it. Yeah, right there.
Particularly if they're using hit and run tactics, because we know Klingons will use hit and run tactics. They will straight out plow into you, but they will use strategy. In some instances, they'll use feints, they'll use pincers, they'll use all sorts of military formations and strategies to wear you down and then eventually kick your ass.
And not only that, they also utilize the environment around them too. Like you said,
well, with all due respect to our Wookiee friends, Wookiees may be cool, but I'm pretty sure even
Klingons.
Maybe.
Wookiees would that's why I didn't put Wookiees on this Versus stream, because they would slaughter Klingons.
Again,
everybody thinks that they're animals.
That's debatable.
I don't think Wookiees are animals, but I'm just saying I don't think it would be as one sided as you think. I actually think it would be.
Me too.
I think it would actually be closer in terms of a fight in terms of with Wookiees and Klingons, for the simple fact that I think, mentally speaking or intellectually speaking, Klingons and Wookiees are a lot closer than Trandoshans than Klingons are.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, you also got to think about this. Wookiees are hunted by Trandoshans.
This is true.
Okay. And Gorn tries to attack the Klingons as well.
They can win in a hand-to-hand fight. I mean, seasoned Wookiees have lost against seasoned Trandoshans.
Okay.
And vice versa. They're both that close together because they both have different.
It's the same. It's the same situation with the Klingons and the Gorn. The Gorn is the same way. The Gorn is basically, like I said, the same as the Wookiee and the Trandoshans. They fought and killed each other often all the time. Vice versa, the same thing. So it's kind of a double-edged sword on that one. Yeah.
I think that you guys are. This is me just being honest. I think that you guys are actually sorely underestimating Trandoshans.
Not particularly.
I don't know. No, not really. Like I said, for me, my personal thinking is, like I said, their mindset is what breaks the competition for me. That's their mindset. Like I said, as far as weaponry and strength is one thing, but for me, it comes down to their mindsets during this fight. Like I said, Klingons on this one.
Alrighty, so we're getting to 10 of, so we're gonna get to the out of 10s. Ambassador.
Alright.
I am actually going to be a little magnanimous to our host here, and I will say this, and I'm not saying it not just be magnanimous, but you've presented some pretty good points. So this is my 10 out of 10. 6 out of 10 in favor of Klingons.
All right. Bryce.
All right. Well, knowing what I know about the Klingons and what you told me about the Trandoshans, I know a lot about them. I just don't know everything. But I think after what you told me, all this tonight, I think I'll agree with Ambassador. 6 out of 64 Klingons.
I'll put 6-4 on Trandoshans.
I'd say that's fair. And Soul Assassin, you are operating under a very faulty premise. I am more Star Wars than I am Star Trek. I happen to like the Klingons. They are by far one of my favorite aspects of the Star Trek universe, but I have been, always will be, first and foremost, a Star Wars fan.
See, I told, I think I told you on Twitter before they suspended his account, but yeah, I grew up on Star Trek with my grandfather, so I know a lot more Star Trek than I do Star Wars, but yeah.
I'm the opposite. I know more about Star Wars than I do Star Trek, but still, Klingons kick ass.
But I'll say this much: when I first saw the Klingons on Discovery, nope, I'm out. Those are not Klingons; those are space orcs. They can kiss my ass on that one.
Alrighty. So we are going to wrap this up.
Good times.
Folks, this is actually a very good discussion. If this was a democracy, I would have lost, and so would have Trandoshans. It's actually it's actually a tie because we all went 6-4.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay,
it's pretty much even at this point. So
you're so wrong, so wrong.
Anyway,
sorry.
Lies, all lies. You sit on a throne of lies, Ambassador. Anyway,
actually, I'm singing on a very comfortable sectional. Thank you very much, but okay.
But yeah, folks, that is going to be the stream. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in 2 weeks as Mara Jade fights Ahsoka Tano.
Ooh, this will be fun.
And I got a full roster for that one. So yeah,
sweet.
Megatron is actually going to be a part of that one.
Nice.
I believe he actually was the one that recommended it. Mara Jade
All
will
right.
be joining, along with Riot Kitty, possibly OG Star Wars, and our friend Caitlin, the nerd with the cigar.
Hey, Orange, if you have someone who drops out, just consider me a wild card. If someone drops out,
I will do that. Mara Jade all the way, unless Ambassador has a problem.
No, I don't have a problem. I think that'd actually be a closer fight than you think.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty, folks, and that is going to wrap this one up. If you catch it on the replay, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Who would win? And I shall see everybody in 2 weeks. Stay tuned for next week when I do my episode 7 of Mystery Reviews on Wednesday morning. And Friday night next week will be Live Free or Die Hard's discussion. AFK Bard will be joining on that one. So yeah.
Very nice.
Take it easy, folks. And always remember, stay humble.